Hello guys, and welcome to Mount & Blade Warband, but modded to Prophecy of Pendor, which you can see right there. So, I'm not entirely sure what this is going to be. Well, obviously it's going to be a sort of let's play, but considering the type of game Mount & Blade is, I'm gonna have to get creative with it. But let's just dive right in there and let's show the game, because I actually tried to record this before, which was, I believe, even back in the original Mount & Blade, but it didn't turn out too well. But I need to show this game because I love it. I absolutely love it. And a lot of other people do as well now. It's gotten, it's made a reputation for itself, which I really like. But yeah, let's go play the modded game. The reason that there is no intro, by the way, is that Fraps doesn't actually record that, and it basically is useless because Prophecy of Pendor has its own world, and that wouldn't match up. So, welcome, adventurer, to Mount & Blade Warband, Prophecy of Pendor. Before beginning the game, you must create your character and turn down the volume a bit. It wouldn't be a let's play of mine without me doing that. Actually, my volume is basically at the lowest. Well, damn. Guess I'm gonna be screaming in the mic then. Well, in a traditional medieval society, war and politics are usually dominated by male members of the nobility. This is emphatically not the case in Pendor. Men and women are equals in battle, at conquest, and either gender may become king or queen. That does not, however, mean that you should not choose to play a character who is not of noble birth. Nobles may have a somewhat easier start, but commoners can attain all of the same goals, and in fact may have a much more interesting, if more challenging, early game. So that is actually a pretty major thing that they changed. That basically it is a medieval, well, the game is set in a medieval fantasy world basically, and females, go back to the kitchen, wench, and yeah, people would not respect you at all. And yeah, it made things a lot harder. A lot harder. Continue. Let's play as a male, shall we? You were born years ago in the land of Barclay, far to the west and south of Pendor. You never knew your mother, who died when you were young. Your father was... No, I'm not entirely... I probably should have thought of this before I started. Because these choices really give you a... They really depend on what you start with, and your, if you're a noble or not is obviously a very big deal. I don't think I want to start as a noble. Nah, I'll start as a noble merchant ship. Your father was a noble merchant ship. Captain. Right. Reading that without the captain is a bit weird. Your father was a noble merchant ship. What? Yeah, let's go with that. You were born the son of the feared Spain noble merchant captain, who traded between Barclay and the ports of Pendor, dodging pirates, outwitting corrupt harbor masters, and avoiding the vicious Red Brotherhood, which seemed to grow stronger each year. Your father grew prosperous from his ventures, and paid off the debt on the ship to the Shipmasters Guild in Barclay, with a percentage of his earnings. It was a modest life, but he provided you with a good education, and a talent for making profit and opening new markets. You start with positive relations with the feared Spain. In your youth, you had very little idle time, as your father... So what happened to me? Serve a noble? Nah, fuck that. Left you to fend for yourself. I like that. Yeah. As a boy, barely emerged from childhood, you lived on the streets, doing whatever you had to, just to survive. You begged, stole, and worked for gangs to earn your bread, living only from day to day in a violent world, frequently only one step ahead of the law and others who wished you ill. Then, after what seemed an eternity, your life changed. You were given the opportunity to become... So, what am I going... What did I become? I tend to go with an engineer and builder. Which is a thing It is basically good for the end game. And I never really like to improve my engineering skills otherwise. Let's put it like that. It will make the beginning a bit harder. But then again, I might go for a squire. Now let's go with an engineer and builder. Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. You pursued a career as an apprentice engineer and builder, crafting plans for homes, castles, and towns. As time wore on, you became a master of your trade, and your work started to bring you high prices. With food on your table and logs on your fire, you could take pride in your work and your growing reputation. But as the fates would have it, everything in your world changed suddenly. You had no choice but to leave the lands of Barclay and strike out for Pendor because of being forced out of your home, because that sounds very interesting, doesn't it? Yeah, let's say that. Only you know it cost you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. You know, however, that you cannot go back, because you left nothing behind. Your home and family are gone now, and you must face the fact that you're out in the wide world all alone, free to sink or swim on your own. So, let's become an adventurer and sail to the shores of Pendor.
Now is the task. You have set sail for Pendor.
Thank you, champion, for heeding my call and returning to Pendor. More than ever, we desperately need your aid. Pendor has fractured into factions yet again, just as we need union most desperately. New enemies have invaded us, and old ones have returned in force. We are poised to seek out the evil goddess Azedahaka and destroy her once and for all. On behalf of the people of Pendor, my champion, will you once again take up the sword?
I shall. So actually, the game had no voice acting like that. That is all modded stuff added in. So, you know, the quality isn't going to be as good as it would be in a studio recording, but I think they did a good job on it so far. Let's pick a flag, or a banner, I should say. I never quite know what to choose. Just gotta find one that you kind of like and stick with it. I think that looks kind of cool. There we go. So, what will the game's saving policy be? Realistic. No quitting without saving. If I fuck up, I'm gonna pay for it. And that's the way I like to play it. Now enter your name and distribute your attribute, skill, and weapon points. You can click on various elements on the screen to learn how each of one of those will affect your character. So I should say that I have, well, played at least 150 hours of Mount & Blade and Warband, the version 2 of Mount & Blade, which also added multiplayer together. So yeah, this is not going to be a new thing for me. So basically, it is an RPG. Well, this might all be very confusing up to this point, I guess. So basically, you are an adventurer. Well, I'm a noble as well. There's a world out there with factions and cults and, you know, all kinds of nobles and knights and interesting people and but there is also the RPG aspect that you are leveling up yourself, which I really like. That makes it very interesting. So basically, there's strength. You know, every point adds. If you look to your upper right, every point adds more hit points, and you know you do more damage. And basically, with every 3 levels, so basically at 9, 12, 15, etc., you can get a different. You can get a level bonus. Or max level in the skills that are related to it. So if you look to the right, you see base attribute for Power Strike is Strength, STR. So, you know, striking with a sword or other weapon, yes, that would require strength. But there are a couple that are not that obvious. What I tend to do, I tend to go for pathfinding. Party map speed is increased by 3% per level, and I find, my speed on the map to be absolutely crucial. Because if you can move faster than your enemies, you can either run away from them and save, everyone in your party, in your army to, well, get killed. Or you can basically run after your own enemies who you're tracking. So that is absolutely vital. I also want some strength, just in case I find some decent armor. So basically with 12, pretty much for the next 10 hours or so, I can probably, equip every armor I find now. And weapon as well. So let's go to the other skills now. For every point in intelligence, you will also get an extra skill point for this entire column. So that is also a thing I will probably raise a lot. Let's see, I already got 2 points in prisoner management, which is very good, because that means I can carry 20 prisoners. Which I can then, sell to a slave trader, which is a very good source of money. First aid, I don't know. I probably will want some first aid, but... No, I probably want some wound management. Because I need to recover my health after I do battle, so... I also should also put some points into athletics, so I might be able to outrun some people if I find myself in a tough spot. Let's do that, and let's go for power strike. I got a lot of points in looting, which is something I never really do, but I guess I'll have to make use of it. There's a lot of stuff here, and I guess I'll just try and explain it as we go, as there is a lot to explain. Let's see what... I'm kind of deciding if I should go with the archery route or not. I'm guessing not. I guess I shall be using a melee weapon of choice and crossbows. Why am I then putting point into throwing? Is because sometimes you find yourself using a throwing weapon, and I suck with them, so I need some skill to help me out, to increase my aim, which will still be horrible. Just throwing that out there. What else do I want? So I guess I'll go for some tracking as well, so I can see tracks on the map. Done. There we go. So then there is the character customization part, which I don't really care for. It's not very great. I think that's guide. It's not too bad. Don't really... No, I don't... The skin is fine, not the hair though. Oh yeah, look at that. We look like quite a peasant. Quite a brigand as well. Let's give ourselves dark hair like that. Yeah. It's not really dark, but it's as dark as it's gonna get. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. By the grace of the divine, you arrive in Pendor, a land plagued by constant strife for over 150 years. You've accepted a daunting challenge to stave off the influence of evil, reunite the warring factions of the Old Kingdom, and fulfill the prophecy of Pendor, as foretold by the mad wanderer, Madigan. These are dangerous lands where many powers, great and small, vie against one another for supremacy. Here you will find honor and nobility, but also deceit and skullduggery. There will be valorous knights and black-hearted assassins. You will leave your past behind to start a new life. Pendor is not your typical medieval country. Women and men have equal chances of success and failure in Pendor. If you succeed, you will fulfill another destiny, creating a new possibility in the infinite dimensions of reality. Your choices may create a new thread in the weave for the Oracle to choose, and offer the possibility that your actions may save us all. Drawn by the stories you hear about Pendor and its kingdoms, and here you basically decide where you're going to start off in. And I have absolutely no idea for these